Shoulders and chest, the most beautiful day of the week. I honestly think this is my favorite workout out of my whole current split. So the menu for today is we're starting with behind the neck presses on the Smith machine, then going into a dumbbell superset, so dumbbells at 45 degrees, superset with pullovers. For chest, then we go decline presses at cables, one of my favorite movements, then cable flies, rear delt flies, and finishing with supported chest side raises and front raises. An amazing session. Also, I am now having, I need to show you this, the most interesting pre-workout flavor I've ever had in my life. It's called strawberry mojito, and it genuinely tastes like that. Like, the initial taste is like a sweet sour strawberry, and then it leaves you with a massive mint aftertaste. I've never had anything like this before. It is ridiculous. No code for it, sorry, but that's from AB. That's usually the brand that I go for pre-workouts. They seem to work fine, so I'm happy with them. But this flavor, is so fresh. And then the pump formula throughout the workout, the BCAAs from Extend. Again, I do not recommend BCAAs in particular, but this one specifically has a very nice blend of electrolytes. So the pumps you get with it throughout the workout are ridiculous. And they also taste very nice and quite refreshing. So, you know what? For 30 pounds, have my money. So starting with behind the neck presses. The reason why I prefer behind the neck rather than in front of me is that it forces my body to work in a strictly vertical line rather than having to like arch my back and press again forward. Now, this position has been getting the middle finger a lot in the industry for, oh, is it not safe, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it is a more difficult position and your rotator cuff muscles are gonna be put under more stress, but there is no reason for you to skip it because of it. You just have to take a hit in the ego and like start working the movement slowly until you get stronger in this position. As a rule of thumb, if you're weak in one position, you shouldn't avoid it. You should work around it to make it stronger. And you will see that the more you work with behind the neck presses or behind the neck pull-ups, besides the fact that it will pull your shoulders back and it will fix your posture slightly, you'll also train the rotator cuff muscles in their weaker positions, meaning that you will be less likely to get injured when you do your normal bench presses or shoulder presses down the line. So, very important to get this right. And that's why I always stick with it. And yes, I'm probably 30% weaker on this than from the front facing pressing, but we do everything front facing in terms of all the presses. So front delts can take a break for a second. I'll have 2 warm-up sets and then 3 working sets of aiming towards 12. Now in terms of my grip, I go a bit wider than I would if I'm front pressing. So my wrist is almost in line with my elbow when I get all the way down. So you press from a very advantageous position in terms of power and you don't lose anything because of angling. So in my case, again, we got the lines on the bar, that's like middle finger on it. In terms of depth, we're looking for at least ears level, even better if you can go underneath that. For second warm up, I'll go only 8 reps. So you'll see me wearing a pump cover on almost every single time I train upper body. And this is for a better reason than just to take it off and everyone be like, oh my god, he's so pumped. It's for the reason that I like to feel extremely warm when I start training. So this helps me do that a lot quicker. And usually the process is hoodie is on, hoodie off, and then jumper off altogether. Okay, one down, good to go. That strawberry mojito pre-workout is crazy. The mint flavor I have now, it's unreal. Never had anything like this before. Ooh. Jesus. Oof. Ooh. The little pulses at the end hurt a lot more than they look like. Right, off to dumbbell press with pullovers. Another phenomenal superset. Okay, so quick tip when you're picking up heavy dumbbells, always place them high on the knee and use the legs to bring them up. Again, another rule for you. If you cannot get the dumbbells up by yourself, you're not ready to lift them. Unless you're Larry Wheels and then you're doing 100 kg dumbbells, then that's when it's acceptable. But otherwise, if you can't pick them up yourself, you're not ready to lift them. And for pullovers, we're keeping the same weight, diamond grip underneath. Whew. 2 minutes. Okay, I think I'm warm enough now. Pump cover off. Okay, so we got 3 more sets of those. Again, even on the presses, always prioritize full depth. Dumbbell heads should be touching your shoulders, but really just above. Don't do half reps. Okay, 2 minutes. So on pullovers, I drop the bench to 15 degrees. I don't go completely flat because my shoulders are not very happy at that angle, and I still feel like I'm getting a much better stretch at 15 degrees than I do flat. So all the bonus points. In terms of positioning, I push myself higher on the bench up until like my head is halfway out, just so I have enough room to bring the dumbbell behind it, because otherwise you'll hit the bench. And when you come up with the dumbbell, try and pull your elbows slightly inwards. It will help engage the chest a tiny bit better at the top, and you'll get a better mind-muscle connection. 2 more sets. Okay, so for decline presses, I set the cables at just over shoulder height. So unlike when I would do them with flat, where it's exactly on shoulder level, this is slightly above, so you can create that angle. Then I have a couple of dumbbells behind the bench, so I can still have leg drive without getting pulled back. And then you need to put a weight in front of your bench as well, because otherwise the bench will lift up as you go through the movement. When you pick up the weights, you have to do it standing, and Ideally, you want to use just your torso so you don't strain anything in your arms, because you can do quite a lot of weight in here and you don't want to bicep curl that in. Yeah? So you go close and use your torso. I use my legs to kind of hug the bench so I'm anchored in. Then I go close, rotate, close, and then drop down into the bench. I keep a 45 grip, 45 angle grip, and then press downwards from there. Lovely. Now we got 4 sets of 12 here. The last one is a drop set as well. You know the drill. We are on 73 kilograms now, so hopefully we can get close to finishing all the 12. I believe last time I had 12, 12, 11, 10. So we're not far off. If you haven't watched my chest, shoulders and triceps day, that was probably the first workout that I posted out of this series. I would recommend you doing so, because that's where you'll see all my cable pressing setup for flat, incline, my flies. That's the first chest day, this is the secondary one. But those decline presses, lovely stuff. I never liked decline on a bar or with dumbbells, but this just feels right. Okay, 1 minute. So go from here, right. I'm also filming. I know, what the fuck is that? It looks like I'm on a, you know, like when you look for like a workout motivation on YouTube shit, that's the thumbnail. I'm that guy. Oh. What do you think?
Bro, I knew that you needed this, and I knew that it was going to be ridiculous, but this is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
This is your life, this is your peak. You're living your peak right now. This is like you're Cristiano on, he's 30 years old.
Just missing a few Champions Leagues, but you know, I don't see him decline pressing this much. Yeah.
You see him decline pressing.
Yeah. You give me life. Yeah, so I had a shoot last week, my first proper shoot, let's say, in the gym. And I was just showing him the pictures. This is the one that he saw, I'll put it on the screen. And it's, yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Looking at that, I'm like 12 years, almost 12 years in May of work for this. Showcasing, man, what you can do with consistency. Time flies anyway. Natural. No roids, no gear, never will do it. Maybe when I'm in my 50s and I'll jump on TRT, but until then, you'll never see me touch that shit. Setting the bar for naturals, baby. That's the goal. Okay, we're moving into seated flies. Bench stays at 90 degrees. We drop those to shoulder level now. Then on the fly, to get a tiny bit more out of it, what I like to do is on the stretch, I tilt my palms downwards. This will create a bit more stretch, especially at the very end. And then on contraction, I come in with my pinkies inwards. So even if you just do this movement now into the air and you rotate your arm, so you bring the pinky forward, you will feel a much stronger contraction than here. It's like an extra 5-10%. But again, this compounds. You do this every time you do your flies, you get more out of them. At the end of the year, more gains. That's all about. Okay, so we got 10 reps on that. It's the first time increasing the weight on the fly, so it's always going to be a rusty session in terms of numbers. But what I do is, again, I focus on the form for as many as I can. This time was 10, so that's exactly what we're gonna note down as well in the app for tracking. But for the remaining 5, I will push with normal flies because that's slightly easier, you'll see, and you can push beyond that failure point. And I do partial reps. Even if I can't get it all the way to the top, I still work against that stretch point until I get the 15, and then so on. And this is what I try to apply on most of the exercises that I do. When I cannot complete the reps, as long as I'm in a safe position to push beyond that failure point with forced partials, I'll do it. So especially isolation exercises like flies, anything regarding arms really, you can do it. A bad example would be maybe on squats or bent over rows where the form is critical, and if that breaks, you're at a very high risk of injury. That's when it's not worth pushing beyond that failure point with quote-unquote shittier reps. Well, if I can get 8 to 10 again, good reps, I'll be happy. I'll let go. Okay, 1 minute, one more. We'll take the 8. Yeah, same idea, 8 good reps, 7 partials. But those 7 partials will help me get my full reps a lot faster. Imagine if I just stopped at 8. There's a bit of work left in the tank that was unused otherwise. Ooh, the titties are pumped. Titties are pumped. Alright, and we're done with the chest section for today. We got 2 more things for shoulders now. So going back into rear delt flies, and then a superset in between side raises and front raises with the chest supported against the bench. Let's go. So for rear delt flies, I do them with both arms this time, and I set the cables at around nose height. I will allow myself to have a maximum stretch, so my arms will cross on top of each other from that position, and then fly it from back there. We'll be here for 4 sets of 15, so 3 to go. Okay, we got 2 more and I already failed on rep 10. So I'm gonna drop the weight slightly because I'm losing a bit too much volume already. That's not ideal, so I probably need more consolidation sessions on 11. Yeah, rear delts are a small muscle. You don't need a lot of weight to hit them right. You just need to put them in the right positioning from the beginning and making sure you're stretching the hell out of them. And you do that by allowing your arms, again, to cross over and don't just like stop in the middle and then pull from there. You lose a lot of range of motion if you do that. Okay. Yeah, my rear delts are cooked. Almost set. Not even 11 kg could save me there. Okay, so this is my favorite superset for shoulders as well, starting with side raises, then into front. For side raises, we're going a bit heavy. For front raises, I cut the weight in half because it's extremely heavy with chest supported. And in this angle, I got the bench at 60 degrees. In front of the bench, I've put a dumbbell, 24 kg one, because otherwise you will push the bench forward when you start doing the raises, and you don't want that. And then on side raises is basically your normal side raise. I don't go completely on my side, I go slightly to the side and forward, almost creating like a Y-shaped ladder. So let me show you. Okay. Okay. And for front raises, again, cutting the weight in half, still leaning forward. Okay, 1 minute rest. We got 4 sets of 12 reps on each. See? This is why you train rear delts. Then it spills. It's ridiculous. Not bad. Not bad for a natty. Okay, I'll sneak in some abs at the end as well. We'll start with hanging leg raises. On those, I like to set up on a rack and have a bar right behind me. So the bar will be somewhere in line with my scapula. So I can actually just focus on leg raising than just controlling everything down with my hip flexors. Again, we're doing this for abs, not for hip flexors. There's no need for you to have to worry about balance. And this way, you get a lot more engagement on your core. Right, we'll go for 3 sets of those. So even with my leg stance, I like to stay hips width. I don't bring my legs one next to each other. Because if I stay hips width, I get a way better engagement on my V-cut, so I can actually feel the contraction at the bottom. If I keep my legs one next to each other, like a gymnast would, I feel like that's targeting too much of the hip flexors, and I lose that engagement in my core. This is all personal preference, but try both and see whatever you like more. One more. I usually do those with straps or chalk because the grip is always the first thing that goes, unfortunately. When you move that much back and forth, it's impossible not to slip. So whenever I do them free-handed, I lose reps because of my grip strength, really. Which is annoying, but I don't have them with me today. But if you do have yours, always use them on this. Okay, I'll finish with cable crunches and I'll do them standing. I either rotate in between like standing or kneeling. I feel like with kneeling I get an engagement. I get a better engagement on my lower abs while standing on the upper, but I could be weird. In terms of positioning, I'll have an underhand grip on the bar, tucking in my chin and trying to curl with my elbows towards my knees, always forcefully exhaling at the bottom. So on contraction, you always want to have all the air out of your body. Resting for only 30 seconds here. 2 more sets. 15 to 20 reps. I think I lied, as I did feel my lower abs a lot more now. Maybe when I'm kneeling it's the upper one. One more, 30 seconds. Okay, and we'll go into obliques as well with choppers. I try to move quickly with those because I only got 5 minutes. And that's the day done. Even managed to get some abs in, which I'm happy. I usually try and get abs done 3 times per week out of my 6 days. So once every 2 days, and ideally not on the leg day, I'll be doing core as well. And sometimes I do it more than 3 times as well. And I have usually 3 exercises, 3 sets, so I have 9 sets in total per session. And in 12-15 minutes, because I rest very briefly, 1 minute to 30 seconds or nothing at all if I'm doing side by side. It goes quick, you always have time. But yeah, great session. This is my favorite day out of the split, shoulders and chest. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave all the reps and the full workout in the pinned comment as well. And also, guys, I've put together an email series for you that will take you from start to finish on your gym journey. Everything you need to know, from calculating your calories, your macros, workout programming, training systems, recovery protocols, supplementation, everything you need to. And you will find that in the first link in the description as well. Everything is completely for free. You just need to give me your email and you're in. You'll get a tip every single day and it's a 45 seconds max read. You can unsubscribe when you want, but I promise I won't spam you and everything is valuable. See you in the next one.